Well, I don't know. Open, not open, apparently not open. At least this second on the Strait of Hormuz as we continue to watch that. We got some economic data out. We did get some inflation data today. Unfortunately, it's old data. Tomorrow will be the big day. We got jobless claims. So we got some data points we need to talk about just to focus in on what is happening outside of what's going on with Iran. Obviously, what's going on with Iran's driving everything, but there is things to look at. We've got another look as these things just, they never go away. Commercial-backed real estate, the losses, gargantuan, default levels are getting ready to tip over. Of course, this has been a crisis that they've been able to kick it down the road, and they're running out of road, right? It's the same thing. Listen, this is what they do with debt. They never pay it back. Doesn't matter how, quote, good things get. When they convinced us, and I shouldn't say that, they really didn't convince anybody. They got the people that supported a central bank elected, and then they voted it in, right? Use the system. It's the same thing, people. We get upset when people are able to use the system a lot better than other people, right? That gets us angry, but this is what they did, and they said, listen, we're going to be really good stewards, I promise. And we'll borrow when things are bad and pay it back when they're good, guys. It'll be fine. Well, they're really good at borrowing. Really, really good. Not good at the pay it back part of things, and that's why we're in the situation that we find ourselves, right? We've got to use the dollar as a weapon. We've got to create all kinds of nonsensical policy that allows to kick the can farther and farther down the road. And of course, we're getting ready. Listen, we're not going to get out. At some point, this Iran thing's going to end. At some point. I feel like now that we've stopped I don't know that we can go back. It's going to, maybe I'm wrong. It just feels like we don't know how to get out, and the only other choice was to do stuff we don't really want. Nobody really wants to blow up the oil. Nobody really wants to blow up the power plants. Nobody wants to blow up the water. Nobody wants to do that. And you know what? We didn't get the revolution that they were hoping for. So I hope it's over. It appears that Iran is going to end up with the Strait of Hormuz. They're probably going to charge people, like they're right now, you don't pay, you don't go. And even now, right now, it's like they're not even taking they're waiting for whatever, I don't know what. And they've been weakened militarily, blah, 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 blah. I hope that's what happens. I've been saying that for, take our ball and let's go home. But we'll see. But once this ends, it is going to be one program after another to borrow more money, one program after another to try to keep kicking these cans down the road. And the problem is all of these everything, we're running out of road, right? Japan's running out of road. The UK's running out of road. Just this week, Germany and France running out of road. And it's amazing. I'll say this, gold, what a great job gold did. You know what? Gold kept Turkey from running out of road, kept Poland from running out of road, right? Some of these countries had to sell some gold, and they did. And the best part was, guess what? Countries like China, they didn't run out of it. They kept buying it. Yeah, I know. It's really going to be a setup here where when all of this is put to the side and we get back to, okay, where is the world really? You are going to see another huge avalanche into the gold markets, the silver markets, guys. Nothing has changed in that silver. There isn't any. And even with the war, listen, the war, in a way, right, kind of stops some of the demand and, because you can't get stuff through and all this stuff, but there isn't any. That's just the reality. And it's not going to change. And I said, hey, before this all gets resolved, make sure that you get some more gold and silver put away. We're going to help you on the silver front today. Two very, very, very big opportunities coming up. So stay with us. It's going to be an exciting Thursday. (800-951-0592) Patriot Radio News Hour. Listen, good news. I think stocks are going to rally if we leave. Call it good. Game over. Everyone goes home. We'll have a stock market rally. We'll have a gold and silver rally, right? We'll get that one last good kick down the road. And then we'll have to deal with the consequences. Right now, the Dow's down 100 points, so not bad, right? I mean, they had a big up day yesterday. The 10-year note, 4.31, so we got into the 4.2s yesterday. Yeah, maybe wishful thinking there. Crude oil, which had that huge down day yesterday, up almost $8. Yeah. Now listen, it was down twice as much yesterday, so it's 102, right? 102 and change, right? 102 and a half. Okay, that's still better. But yeah, I'm going to tell you why in a minute. What's happened here? I think you guys probably already know. Gold is up 50, 47.70. $20 gold pieces, $48.95 last day. Last hurrah here. Unless gold goes down tomorrow, right? Then maybe we can do it again. Silver, $75. Silver's up $1, $75. And again, we're going to have, especially for those of you that really like the U.S. Silver Eagles, big opportunity coming. We'll put that out there next segment. So if you're looking at Silver Eagles, I haven't even told the girls, so you can't call. Can't call now and order before I put them on there because I haven't even told them what the price is. So there, nanny boo boo, because that's happened before. And then all of a sudden the girl's like, "Well, we sold it. You don't have anything to sell." And I'm like, "Okay, great. Well, I know how to fix that." So, what happened today? Well, apparently, no more tankers are going through the Strait of Hormuz today than was going through on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. The CEO of Abu Dhabi National Oil, by the way, the UAE, the third largest member of OPEC as far as oil goes. This moment requires clarity. So let me be clear, he says. This is the CEO of Abu Dhabi National Oil. He said, the moment needs clarity. Let me give it to you. The Strait of Hormuz is not open. Access is being restricted, conditioned, and controlled. There is no freedom of navigation. This is coercion, saying that everything is being held up by the Iranians, saying that every day the strait remains restricted, the consequences are going to compound. So I think Jason did a really good job during this situation of kind of telling you guys, listen, there was some slack in the rope when it came to oil. There was a lot of it out there, right? Remember, we had the prices in the 50s, and the real effects didn't start when the bombs started falling. Right, and then they did some things like, okay, all the Russian oil out there, the Iran had oil. Any oil that we said you couldn't buy that was out there, go ahead and buy it, right? Oh, let's release oil from the reserve. That bought like 6 weeks. The 6 weeks is up. So right now, bombs are not falling at this exact moment. But why is oil up $8? If bombs aren't falling? Well, because Iran is letting like 3 boats, 4 boats a day go through and nothing else. And what they're saying now, every day the strait remains restricted, the consequences compound.
It almost feels like they're working together, Joe. It's almost like Iran's working with the world economic system to control exactly what they want for the flow, Joe.
Supply is delayed.
Yep.
The markets are now tightening. So, in other words, what they're saying is, okay, we need that boat to get through the strait today because it's going to take them however long it takes them, right? A week, 2 weeks, depending on how far they've got to go. Some places 3 weeks before the boat actually gets there. And now what they're saying is that ain't going to work because that means countries are going to start going days, weeks without any oil coming in. Every day it is delayed, the market tightens, the price rises. Like I said, I'm telling you, NYMEX crude's $102.50. No one's paying $102.50. Nobody. You know what they're paying? $140, $150. And now they're saying the impact is going to go beyond the energy markets, right? India had to start taking plants that were running 24 hours a day, plastic plants, things of that nature, now running just one shift. Why? Because, well, we don't have, and sometimes it's not just the oil that they don't have, right? It's the other stuff that you need oil to make that they're running out of. So, interesting. But at least as far as the UAE is concerned, the Strait of Hormuz is not open. And even if you're willing to pay the bounty, the Iranians are essentially only allowing a handful of tankers through every day.
Yeah. It's we'll keep saying we'll wait and see. Every day that goes by, it seems like a little more information. So, first of all, let's see if the bombs stop, for good, or at least in this time frame. But if that happens, then all we're going to sit here do is watch the flow of oil. Because Joey, it wasn't just the 6 weeks of tankers that were trying to reach their destinations. There's also the tankers that were sitting out there. There was a lot of extra oil, in these strategic supplies in different nations, and they're sitting in boats. I mean, I don't know, is a boat in the ocean, is that part of your strategic supply? I don't know. So we still might have another couple of weeks where oil doesn't have any real high prices. But once that's gone, Joe, I mean, once that's gone, even if there's no war, what you said earlier is right. You can see these prices continue to go up because of the so-called supply disruption, which probably never should have happened, and false scarcity abound, Joe.
Yeah, false scarcity. I think that is the biggest thing in all of this, and it just seems like I said, I think we're done here. And I only say this because obviously, was this the deal? Right, we're going to have a 2-week ceasefire, and Iran's going to charge everybody and decide what boats can go through, what boats can't go through.
Well, if you want higher oil prices, make sure Iran charges every boat, what is it, $2 million, whatever it is, and you have your higher oil prices, Joe. It doesn't really matter if the strait is open. We can't go back to $50 or $60 or $70 a barrel oil because now there's a new tax which will be charged to the end customer, right, Joe?
Yeah, well, that's yeah.
Like I said, it's almost like they're working together, huh, Joe?
Kind of feels that way, doesn't it?
It sure seems like it.
That way. So really quickly, let's go through some of the jobs or the data points today. Jobless claims, 219,000, big deal, right? Another one of these, no hire, no fire. That was, I guess, good news. Consumer credit shrinking, not growing. That was bad news. They ended up well short of the number, revised the number from the previous month lower. So, another sign that maybe the consumer is running low here. And then we had the inflation data that came out, and it was older data, so it wasn't, as timely as I thought this would be a March number. It was still a February number. And the core inflation rate, the headline number, 3% in February. I'm sorry, that is the core. 3% was the core. Headline was 2.8%. On a monthly basis. So here's the thing. Here's the scary part about this, because this was pre-war. On a monthly basis, both the core and the headline were up 0.4%. That's a lot. Right? When you think about, they said headline was 2.8. Well, that means the month would be like 0.23. We're at almost double that. So these numbers are going to get even worse. They said that personal incomes fell. The spending was up, but less than expected. So this was kind of one of those, if you're looking for a reason, hey, can we cut rates on this number? There's some, the consumer's starting to buckle, right? But the jobs market is still kind of no hire, no fire. But this may have been the most important piece of data. Commercial-backed real estate, the CMBS delinquency rates, unexpectedly, and I don't know why it was unexpected, are now back to the COVID highs. So think about COVID, right? COVID shut down, right? Nobody goes to work, right? Remember that? And all of a sudden, now here we are. I mean, no one even really talks about COVID anymore. And they're saying these are delinquency rates up over 0.4%. 7.55% of all commercial real estate loans are now delinquent. That is the highest levels in years. They said that 4 out of the 5 major property rates increased. So they have, let me just give them to you, industrial, right? Okay, so now the industrial, we understand that, right? You're some form of, hey, I make something at this place. Lodging, the lodging number not Not good. By the way, the industrial, not bad. Lodging, over 7%. Multifamily, that one got worse. So here's what got worse. Industrial got worse, but it's still pretty low. Lodging got worse, over 7%. Multifamily, right? Apartments, big jump, almost 2%. Now that is over 7. Office, which office has been brutal. Office a year ago was just under 10. It's now just under 12. Last but not least, retail, the only one that ticked down. Of course, it ticked down to 6.6. So overall, throw that on with private credit.
Like, no, sir. Yes, ma'am.
800-951-0592. Gold's now up $65. You know, I may have to pull this. I'm going to keep it. You know what? Here's what I got. At $4,800, the $20 gold special goes up $100. So right now, $48.95. Add another $12, $49.95. So save $100, guys. Silver, flying. It's up another $1.50 here. I've got 50 rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles, $1,625, and that is going to be the cheapest price anywhere. Just to give you an idea, that's $2.75 over cost. That's it. So you figure something that's 81.25, so 275 divided by 81.25. That's 3%. 3%. That is as tight can be here. U.S. Silver Eagles only got 50 rolls, so I've got two huge opportunities. $20 gold pieces. Well, you got $9 left. Well, make it $8 left now at $48.95. Spot is $47.92. Silver Eagles, $1,625 a roll. By the way, these are coming out of sealed cases. Right? So these aren't, beat up and toned up and all that stuff. You know that's not what we do. 75. By the way, it just got less because now silver 75.75. So hustle up here. 800-951-0592. $20 gold pieces, $48.95. And silver, gold just keeps going up. You got $7 left. Run to the phone. And 50 rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles at 16.25 at 800-951-0592. And keep putting them away. We did get Fed minutes yesterday. And Jason, a lot of lip service. Oh, well, we're worried. We're worried about the war and inflation. And, some of them were saying, we may have to possibly have a rate hike this year. And I'm just telling you, I think that's a bunch of nonsense. Unless I don't know. Unless we really blow up the entire Middle East, that's not going to happen.
When's the next decision? Is that next week?
No. So we won't hear from the Fed for another month.
Okay, got it. All right.
Yeah.
Because I've been seeing some stuff there. They're still thinking. Seeing some traditional news sources saying another half-point reduction coming.
Well, that's when Powell goes away. That is the conventional wisdom. That the Fed will. And listen, guys, they're going to be forced to. Let me give you a great example. Tuesday, we were auctioning off 3-year notes. Now, Tuesday, remember, we're going to bomb Iran back into the Stone Ages. great demand, right? Great demand, no tail, 3-year notes, got all bought up. Yesterday, we don't bomb them into the Stone Ages. We're selling 10-year notes. And Jason, guess what happens? Terrible auction, big tail, no foreigners show up. Guys, this is what we're talking about. This is what's coming. The war is going to, however it ends, it really won't matter. When it's finally off the headlines, all that's going to be left is nobody wants dollars. That's it. All of these countries, why did they sell gold? You know what? Like, take Turkey as an example. Like, I got to buy oil. Right? Poland's like, I got to sell gold because, you know what? I probably got to buy more missiles because, war. Soon as that's over, how much you want to bet the next thing they do is buy more gold? By the way, I don't know if you noticed, China's gold purchase almost tripled last month. Yeah. Get ready. 800-951-0592. And a lot of people are saying that this is going to make it worse. The Iran thing will make this worse. That more and more countries now are going to hold even less dollars. We'll see. I don't know if you saw Mexico the other day. Huge trucker and farmer strike, shutting down all the traffic. Let's face it, we get a lot of our crap from Mexico. Why were they shutting it down? Rising cargo crime, right? That's a big thing, right? The truckers are like, we keep getting robbed. We want more cops. High diesel prices, higher operating costs. The roads suck, right? All these things. Listen, Jason, countries don't have any money.
Yeah, there's a lot.
They don't have it.
A lot of people don't have money. they're hiding it pretty good. I think there's quite an economic mess happening that's just not being reported fully, Joe. I guess you would think with all of the emergency that they seem to be putting into the news cycle this last year and this year that there would be more economic indicators, except for the one thing they do, higher prices, right? But they don't. They're not really showing it, and there's so many indicators that are as bad as the '08 housing crash right now. So a lot of the numbers are worse than the '08 housing crash, just not being reported. I thought they hated Trump in the news. Why aren't they reporting all this horrible economic news other than the higher prices? Because if they really did hate Trump, then this stuff should be all over the place. But it seems like they don't want people to panic or worry about that yet. It's almost like they're waiting for the right moment to panic everybody about how bad it is. But I see it all around me, Joe. People have trouble making ends meet right now.
Well, and again, here we're I honestly, we are the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry here. You gotta start thinking about what's happening in a lot of these countries where the government subsidizes the fuel cost. They can't. They don't have the money. Now they've got to pay, and now all of a sudden the trucks stop rolling. Oh man, I just got an update. This has to change. Got an update on exactly what Iran says is they're going to let pass through the Strait of Hormuz. I'll give you that number when we get back. 800-951-0592. Gold, $47.95. $20 gold pieces, $48.95 for $5 more. Then it's going to go up $100, guys. So jump in. I've got plenty of them available. Silver Eagles. I had 50 rolls. Now I've got 40 rolls. You don't want to miss this one. $1,625. Guys, that's less than rolls of rounds. By a lot. Roll around right now is $1,690. You got silver, almost $76. Jump all over this. 9510592. Okay, so quick updates here. For whatever this worth, J.D. Vance, yeah, he's back. He's going to lead the delegation in Pakistan tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow they're having a big meeting. Trump has warned again, more military action if they don't hold up the real ceasefire deal. Apparently, according to the president, the deal that Iran released yesterday, the 10 things, I read them to you, that's not the real deal. I hope not. Here's yesterday. Iran let a total of 15, quote, vetted tankers to pass through. 1-5. By the way, last week, which was the best week since the war started, they let 72 vessels through last week. So that's a little over 10 a day. So I guess, they bumped it up. Today, 15. That's it. So according to the Associated Press, Iran's approval system for ships granting safe passage after vetting remains unchanged despite President Trump's demands for them to reopen. By the way, according to Russia, saying their sources in Iran, they will allow no more than 15 vessels per day to pass through. And yes, every vessel has to pay the $2 million. So I don't know, right? Jason's kind of laughing because, right, this kind of seems all so organized. How could we have agreed to that deal, right? That just seems crazy, but I don't know.
Well, going to my understanding of how this works, these nations, we don't really have nations anymore. We have an economic system, and I think Iran and Venezuela have signed in. I think they were whatever deal needed to be struck was struck. You had to have, I think, a conflict for anyone to try to even halfway believe all of this. We didn't have the human casualty levels that you would normally have with a real war, and now we're very conveniently controlling the flow of oil with Iran. It's just hey, we need that. We need the 80, 90, 100, $110 barrel oil, Joe. That's what we need. It sure is coming hand in hand with all of the Fed decisions about rate cuts and inflation and inflate our way out of this thing. It's just working perfectly. It's as if it's organized and agreed to. And let's just see if there's any kind of actual agreement signed, because Joe, you were reading the conditions that Iran wants, and then what America supposedly wants. But if it ends with no sanctions and Iran gets $2 million per ship going through, and it looks like a business deal's been struck. I mean, Iran did jump in with the BRICS nations, and I don't care what anyone says, the BRICS nations are still spending dollars. It's these currencies really aren't much different if your central banks are the same people. It doesn't matter. If your central bankers in China are the same central bankers in the Fed, the actual bankers, not Jerome Powell, or the new guy, which I haven't remembered the new guy's name. I always forget when we're on the air. If it's the same guys, then they want this. They want a very controlled result. This whole war looks like a very controlled result. Okay, Iran, we're coming with some missiles, and then Iran's like, well, okay, well, as soon as your missiles come, I'm going to send some missiles your way. Who fights a war like that, Joe? Aren't you supposed to hit the enemy when they're not expecting it? When did this turn into a game of Battleship? B2. Hit.
You sunk my battleship.
You sank my battleship. That's what the Iran war's turned into. Okay, you're gonna hit a few of our things, and then Iran. Okay, you're gonna hit a few of our things, and by the way, that'll make it a little harder to produce a lot of oil. So that'll get us into that false, scarcity. And now we'll be able to inflate our rich hides into higher places. And don't worry, the citizens will believe whatever we throw on the television. Don't buy gold.
Well, you know what's funny?
Don't buy gold.
I've got to make a correction. So Poland did not sell gold. Matter of fact, Poland increased what they had been buying. They bought another 11 tons in March. We got new players. The Bank of Guatemala. What? Who? Yeah. They started buying gold, by the way. The Czechs, the Chinese, Uzbekistan, Kakistan, right? This stand, that stand. I mean, Turkey, big seller. Man, a lot of central banks buying gold. It seems like the list just grows every quarter. Seems like they add new members. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour on this Thursday. So tomorrow, there's supposed to be some, I guess, negotiations in Pakistan. We'll see what happens there. We're going to get inflation, CPI data here. Right now, the latest is apparently Trump has called Netanyahu, try to get him to stop bombing in Lebanon. I don't know. This just seems nonsensical here. But here's what he's Netanyahu now. I have instructed the cabinet to open direct negotiations with Lebanon as soon as possible. The negotiations will focus on disarming Hezbollah and establishing peaceful relations between Israel and Lebanon. The negotiations will take place under fire. I don't know how that's good news, but apparently Israel says they're not going to stop bombing Lebanon. Matter of fact, I saw a report saying that Israel is moving into South Lebanon. So they've, I don't know. They're in Syria right now. They're in Lebanon. It seems like this is kind of what happens, right? They occupy, and then settlers move in, and then next thing you know, Israel just says, okay, this is ours. I could be wrong on that, but that's kind of what it seems like to me anyway. But yesterday, of course, Israel just, here we are going to have a ceasefire, and they just bombed Lebanon, killed, I think it was 300 people wounded, 1,500 others. So we'll see. I think that's you know what? It's giving Iran an excuse anyway, right, Jason, to say, nope, hey, if you're going to do that, this is what we're going to do. Got to have that excuse, right?
Well,
you would think we'd be able to call Israel and say, dude, stop right now.
We don't talk about
You'd
Gaza.
Think that we'd be able to do that.
We don't talk about Gaza anymore, do we? Since the whole Iran war started. I was just looking it up. Yeah, they're still killing people in Gaza. But it's very convenient. Oh, yeah. Very convenient to get all eyeballs off that. So, so Lebanon makes sense. It's like, we might actually have a ceasefire, so we better get a couple more shots in and gain some ground here. Let's get another first down before they call the game.
Right, That's right. Instead of running out the clock, Israel decided, hey, let's throw a pass. Right? We're up 57-0.
Peyton Manning needs one more touchdown to break the passing touchdown record.
Oh, you gotta love the world, don't you? 800-951-0592. I just hate it because Jason always, this is all part of the plan. How can this not be, right? I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, this just seems ridiculous, but yet here we are. I'll say this, if only 15 ships a day, if this holds true,
we'll have $95 barrel oil. It's the new happy inflation days, and they've got their oil prices right where they need it.
Well, it's up to 102. So
and I'll bet Iran ends up with no sanctions, so they can do business with their neighbors. And
see, you know what? Here's what I think. I think we're going to end up right where we were before the war. All the sanctions stay in place. Iran is going to charge people for the Strait of Hormuz, and I don't know. I don't see Iran giving up that nuclear fuel. You know what? I did a week ago. I've changed my mind.
Well, if they weren't making any nuclear to begin with, it'll be easy to get rid of it to get the sanctions lifted.
That's true. You're right. Good point.
They can always brew up another war later.